Welcome to McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where tonight the Pawtucket Red Sox at some point will play the Indianapolis Indians. But as you can see, there is a bit of a rain delay here. We've had rain off and on in Rhode Island throughout the day. Sunny skies and warm temperatures all afternoon. And about 15 minutes ago, the skies opened up. We expect it to be passing through very quickly, and we will have baseball tonight at the inaugural broadcast of our minor league baseball game of the week. I'm Dick Gabriel, along with former big league infielder Doug Flynn. Doug, you spent 11 years in the bigs, and you spent 3 years in the minor leagues. Rain delays, I know you don't like them as a player. You got to find ways to kill the time.
Well, you do find ways too. There's a lot of things you can do. You can go out and introduce yourself to the fans. You can sign some autographs, or you can make up games. And there used to be games like Flip, and you just find ways to keep yourself busy. Most of the guys will have some nervous energy, especially this early in the season. They'll have no trouble getting themselves ready. If you're a pitcher and you've already gone to warm up, could be a little tougher on you. But if you're a regular everyday player, you're just glad to go. There's
a great crowd on hand tonight here in Pawtucket, and they're ready for baseball. Both of these teams are doing well, both in first place in their respective divisions. And we'll have the action for you coming up as Pawtucket plays host to the Indianapolis Indians right here on CBS Sports Network. Stay tuned for alternate programming coming up, and we'll see you soon with baseball right here. There are hundreds of minor league baseball players across the country, and they all have one thing in common: the dream to get to the majors someday. And tonight we'll see some of the best talent that AAA baseball has to offer as the Pawtucket Red Sox play host to the Indianapolis Indians. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dick Gabriel, along with former big league infielder Doug Flynn. Doug, you went 11 years in the majors, 5 different teams, but like all these guys, it started for you in the minors.
It really did, Dick, and your goal was to try to move up the ladder every year. So I went through the system, A-ball, AA, and AAA. The exciting thing is once you get to AAA baseball, you know you're just a step away from the big leagues.
These teams just getting started in their respective seasons, but they're off to good starts, both of them.
Yeah, both of them really good ball clubs. Last year they were division leaders. Played in the Governor's Cup, actually, and this year they're off to, no surprise really, they're off to a good season because they just have outstanding talent.
They do, and we're going to see a lot of that talent tonight, of course. And on the Indian side, we're going to see what some are calling the next up-and-coming superstar, and that's Gregory Polanco.
Gregory Polanco leads them in almost every offensive category. One of those guys that when he walks onto the ball field, you look at him and you say, this guy's an athlete and looks like a player. He is one guy that we will be watching and probably won't be in the minor leagues very long.
One of the guys he'll be facing, in fact, the starter tonight is Matt Barnes. Coming off his first start, he was pretty sharp.
Yeah, he was very sharp. He's got good command of a couple of pitches, has an outstanding arm. They're looking for a good 5 or 6 out of him tonight.
They're playing in McCoy Stadium, which is a ballpark that just oozes history. And our roving reporter tonight, our third member of our crew, is Ginger Paulson. She's out in the ballpark. Ginger?
That's right, guys. McCoy Stadium has a ton of history. It was built back in 1942, and since then it's been home to players like Jim Rice, Wade Boggs, and Roger Clemens. It's even been a witness to 2 perfect games, and actually is the host of the longest baseball game ever, when back in 1981, the Rochester Red Wings and the Pawtucket Red Sox went 33 innings. That's insane, guys. Back to you.
They are still talking about the 33-inning game. We'll tell you more about that as we go along tonight. Stay with us. Back with more in just a minute. Back at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, and Ginger Paulson. It is the Red Sox of Pawtucket and the Indianapolis Indians. And I know this is your first trip to Pawtucket, Doug, but you played at one point for Indianapolis before your career began in the majors with the Reds, back when Indianapolis was the AAA team for the Reds. And I want to get your thoughts on that in just a minute. Let's go downstairs to Ginger, though. She's out there among a really good crowd tonight.
Yeah, guys, you know, even though there's a rain delay, it's not stopping the crowd from having a lot of fun with it. They have been loud and excited, and they're ready for the Paw Sox to get playing. There are a bunch of kids here with their schools today. They have awesome signs, awesome cheering going on, and they are ready for the game to go underway. Back to you guys.
We are as well, and the umpires have come out, just about ready for starting lineups. And as I said, Doug, you played for the Indians back when they were the Reds team. Now they're with the Pirates, but Indianapolis has been a great place for minor league baseball.
It's a great place. Always drew very good. We played at Old Busch Stadium. They certainly have a new ballpark now, which
I understand is spectacular. And when I first saw him come out of the dugout, it looked funny seeing a pirate uniform on those Indians because for years, of course, they've had several franchises there. Montreal's been a part of that. But, yeah, back in the old days, a lot of pretty good players came through there as well.
Here's the way the Red Sox will come to the play. Rather, the Indians will come to the plate tonight, the visiting team, of course. Chase D'Arno will lead things off. He is the left fielder. Robert Andino will play shortstop tonight. Gregory Polanco, you're going to want to see him. He'll be in right field. Andrew Lambeau had a home run last time out against Syracuse. Brent Morrell will play third base tonight. Lambeau, the way, is a designated hitter. Chris McGinnis also with a home run in the win over Syracuse. He'll play first base, followed by Nevin Ashley behind the plate. Jeff Decker is in center field, and Michael Martinez will play second base tonight. So that's your lineup for the Indians. And again, can't wait to see Polanco. Everybody keeps saying he's the next great thing. And as you said, Doug, he may not be down at AAA very long.
No, I doubt that he will. And one of the hot bats on this ball club is Andrew Lambeau, who's been swinging it extremely well. I had a chance to talk with the broadcaster for the Indians, Howard Kellman, who happened to be the broadcaster back in 1974 when I played there. Now 39 years later, he is continuing to do the broadcasting. Told us a little bit about this ball club, how they've been playing. Obviously, they've got a very good pitching staff, and I think both of these teams, what we're going to see is that their pitching has carried them a lot. However, when you look at Polanco and the lofty average that he's carrying, hitting over 400 right now this early in the season. So, Dick, I really don't expect him to be here very long.
You got a good look at the managers, and there they are again. Dean Traynor for Indianapolis and Kevin Bowles for Pawtucket, and the umpires tonight behind the plate, Derek Malika at first base, John Byrne. Third base, Angel Campos, going over the ground rules now because, of course, we had the rain delay of some 30 minutes earlier, but everybody stayed in the ballpark.
Everyone stayed here, and one thing that jumps out at me immediately is how much foul territory there is in this ballpark.
Huge.
It is huge. Reminds you a lot of the Oakland ballpark where you had all day to run. You could see there from the third base line over to where the suites are, or over to the stands anyway. There is a lot of area to cover. If you're a pitcher, you're saying thank you. If you're a hitter, dadgummit.
Well, we talked to one of the Paw Sox pitchers earlier today, Tommy Lane, and he said, yeah, the pitchers love it because it obviously gives your defensive players so many more opportunities to run down foul balls and to shorten innings for them. But, yeah, hitters could lose opportunities. And a good look at the Paw Sox bench as they were killing time. And we're just about ready for action here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, as the Red Sox will take on the Indians. And as again, both of these teams are coming in off successful starts this year as the Paw Sox take the field. Indianapolis 17-8 on the season, a 5.5-game lead in the Western Division on Columbus. Pawtucket just a 1-game lead at 16-11 in the IL.
Yeah, a little early in the season, but both teams off to good starts. And when you play minor league baseball, the lineups and the rosters can change so quickly.
Matt Barnes making just his second start, had a little bit of shoulder trouble coming out of spring training, but he is healthy now. And you can see he went 5 good innings his last time out, gave up just 6 hits, couple of walks, 2 strikeouts, and the 1.80 ERA. And Doug, they like his upside enormously.
Well, they really do. He can run it up there close to 96 miles an hour. Has an okay changeup that is serviceable, because when you throw that hard, if you just got a pitch that's off speed, it's going to be effective. They're working on his curveball. They think it has a chance to be a plus pitch. Command should be excellent. But when you're throwing 96 with pretty good command, you got a shot.
Take a look at the defense tonight for the Paw Sox across the outfield. Bryce Brents, Daniel Nava down from the big team. Alex Hassan playing in right. Garen Cicchini at third base. Rockhold plays shortstop tonight. Ryan Roberts at second. Ryan Lavarnway is at first. Dan Butler behind the plate, all in defense of Matt Barnes. Barnes a Dansbury, Connecticut native, so obviously a lot of fun for him playing close to home and a chance to get up to the big league team, which is even closer. So we'll get a chance to see the guy who was the Big East Pitcher of the Year 3 years ago, won the pitching Triple Crown his last year in college.
Well, that's pretty good. You know, you and I both being from the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and now we see another UConn. That's got a little different ring to us.
Yeah, Kentucky fans don't have a lot of use for UConn, but you're only talking basketball there.
I tell you what, though, this is exciting to see baseball, especially minor league baseball, on television because I remember when they used to have Game of the Week, and now we're doing minor league baseball. Outstanding.
Good look at Chase Darno trying to get himself on track. Played at Pepperdine. He's a native of Torrance, California. Goes 6'1", 205. He'll try to get things started tonight for the Indians of Indianapolis. Barnes goes fastball early and finds the inside edge. They played Darno to pull in left and in center. There's a hole in right center for him. Paw Sox with a 1-game lead on Buffalo. They've won 2 straight for their last 5.
We talked about the big foul territory, but we look at the dimensions of this field. 325 down both lines, 375 in the gaps, and 400 in straightaway center.
So Darno is looking at a lot of pitches right now. Trying to get into Barnes a little bit, give his teammates something to watch. Barnes, the 5th-ranked prospect in the Red Sox organization, so says MLB.com. Now falls behind 3 balls, 1 strike. You were telling me back in the day, a lot of times it was automatic take here. Now they look for a hitter's count.
Well, if you're a leadoff hitter, especially starting the ball game, don't be surprised if he's not taking all the way, trying to get on base.
But instead, he sends the hot smash and a nice pickup by Cecchini, 1 out.
Boy, just an outstanding play, and it shows you how much the game has really changed, too. Sees a 3-1 pitch, the leadoff hitter, and hits it right on the nose. But Cecchini, just an excellent job. This ball is a pretty good pitch down and away, and he smokes it. Boy, look at that play. Another good strong throw over to first base. Dick, that's one of those right there, too, where you almost have to lay down to catch the ball because it's hit so hard, but the lower you get, the better you see it, and he played it perfectly.
So 1 out now for Robert Andino standing in against Barnes. Another right-handed hitter. Andino from Miami. And a good look at his numbers. Just a couple of at-bats so far, but been playing pro baseball since '05. Selected by the Marlins in the 2nd round of the first-year player draft back in '02. Spent some time in the Orioles chain. Just getting the opportunity to get a few more at-bats tonight. Barnes ahead in the count. Tried to get him to chase. Good fastball just off the outside edge.
Well, you can tell he's got good pop. We can hear it really good this time. So when you see that catcher try to frame it, move it in just a little bit, it tells you it may be just a hair outside.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Robert Andino. Got 29 games in the majors last year with the Pirates. Also almost a full season back in 2012. Reaches out and sends one to right, but Alex Hassan is there. And there are 2 outs.
Got a fastball up. Tried to go the other way with it. Put a good swing on it, but it's hard for little guys to be lifting that ball and getting it out of the ballpark. But I tell you what, this is an aggressive swinging team. One of the reasons why they have such a good lead right now in their division, because they come to the plate hacking.
Indians a .270 team batting average, averaging almost 5.5 runs per game. Now Gregory Polanco. Take a look at those numbers, and he is worth the price of admission. Discovered in Santo Domingo, his hometown, where he was a pitcher and was struggling on the mound. Rene Gaino is the director of Latin American scouting for the Pirates. Saw him a little bit in the outfield and said, I think you could be a pretty good outfielder. And Polanco didn't like pitching. But Gaino said when he first saw him, he said he looked like a sick giraffe.
Well, the Giraffe has been healed. I mean, 21 runs he's already scored in just 24 games. He has 6 doubles to go with those 4 home runs, a couple of triples. So this is a playa.
Put on good weight, strong, fast, good arm. He's got it all. 6'4", 220 now. So as you said, the Giraffe has grown up.
Once you get to AAA, after you take pictures for kids when they first sign, once they get here, they become men.
Polanco, last week's IL Player of the Week. Good cut. In his last 10 games, he's had a pair of 3 hit games.
Well, fastball right down Broadway, and he takes a good hack at it off the mask.
Got to sting a little bit.
It does. Those are not fun.
In fact, one scout called Polanco the next Barry Bonds.
That's pretty high praise right there.
Indeed. 2-2 pitch coming up. He blew it by Polanco in a good inning for Matt Barnes and the Paw Sox. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing across for the Indians. Will go to the bottom of the first. Indianapolis nothing. Pawtucket coming up. Back with more on CBS Sports Network. We're back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson. It is Indianapolis and the Paw Sox. And here's the way Pawtucket will come to the plate this evening. Brock Holt will lead things off. He has 5 multi-hit games on the year. Ryan Roberts playing second base. Daniel Nava, who hit 300 last year for the Red Sox, is back in AAA. Ryan Lavarnway at first base, followed by Bryce Prince. Garen Cicchini is at third base. Brandon Snyder is the DH. Alex Hassan in right field, and Dan Butler behind the plate for the Paw Sox. And they will be facing for Indianapolis the left-hander. There's a good look at the starter for
Jeff Locke on the mound. And
Jeff
Dick, we've heard that they've made a little adjustment in his pitching motion, trying to get a little more hip turn into it. So far this year, 0-1 with a 5.29 ERA. 17 innings. You see the 21 hits. So they're trying to get him to do a little bit more with his hips. And he's been struggling, I guess, with control and with velocity. So they're much like they have done with Johnny Cueto up in the big leagues. I think they're trying to get him to get more legs into it. And as you know, some of the greatest pitchers ever, strong legs.
Here's the way the Indians will play defense tonight. D'Arnaud, Decker, and Polanco across the outfield. Around the horn, Morel, Andino, Martinez, and McGinnis. Nevin Ashley behind the plate catching Jeff Locke. Will face the Red Sox for the first time this evening. No score, bottom of the first inning. Glad to have you along on this inaugural broadcast of the Minor League Baseball Game of the Week here on the CBS Sports Network. You see Holt standing in, a left-hander, but they play him to go the other way in center and in right, straight away in right field. Good numbers for Holt this year. He's been tearing it up down here at AAA.
You can see that little hip turn right there that Locke has. Holt, as a matter of fact, came over from the Pirates, part of the Joel Hanrahan trade. And he's become quite a solid utility man. There's that little hip turn again.
Andino with a quick throw, and there's one out. Now Ryan Roberts.
You hear so much, Dick, about mechanics. And this is part of working on a guy's mechanics and literally changing him to the point where, you know, he has to have good balance. And it was hard, I know, early for Cueto, and it may be for Locke, but he looks like he's very comfortable doing this.
Well, they've got a lot of faith in Locke. They know that what they've seen so far is not what they'll see later in the year. At least that's what they tell us. So Roberts standing in his 12th professional season, signed with the Red Sox as a free agent earlier this month.
I tell you, you're keeping the dream alive, though. A lot of people say, you look at a good, looks like off-speed pitch, probably a changeup right there, had him out in front. That's a tough pitch, but if you can control that.
Roberts has seen time in the majors with the Rays, with Arizona. Back in 2011, 143 games with Arizona. 19 home runs, scored 86 runs, 120 base hits. Since then, he's had a hard time finding consistent at-bats anywhere.
Boy, my hat's off to the guys, though, that are still living the dream.
They play Roberts to pull, except Polanco straight away and right. And he pulls this one into the gap. On the run is d'Arnaud, and he can't get it. So Roberts lays into one and sends it 375 to left center field.
Not sure how they're going to call this one right now. It looked like d'Arnaud had a beat on it and then maybe flinched a little bit when he got near the wall. The ball hits off the end of his glove. And you and I had a chance to talk with the official scorekeeper before the game.
And he's not made a ruling yet, error or base hit, so Roberts will wait to see if he gets a double on the play.
If you're playing home, you got to give him a double.
Daniel Nava stands in. Interesting story. Known as Everyman in some corners. They're going to call it a double. So Roberts at second base. Daniel Nava tried to walk on to his college team at the University of Santa Clara. Did not make it. He became the team manager. Ran out of money, so he left Santa Clara, wound up playing small college ball. At the College of San Mateo, where he was a walk-on, and became a junior college All-American. Then went back to Santa Clara, had 1 year left, led the West Coast Conference in batting at .395, but still went undrafted. Played with the Chico Outlaws of the Golden League and became the #1 prospect in independent baseball. You see a good swing, and they're going to make the play ahead of the runner. Now Roberts in trouble.
Yeah, that time Roberts just knows that he made a bad base running decision. That ball was smoked, but just happened to be right at the shortstop.
So now instead of a runner at second or third, now you got a runner at first with 1 out, or rather 2 outs.
You see, this is a pretty routine play. Nice play by the shortstop to get a good hold on that one. Zandino grabs it, makes an easy out. Now you take a runner out of scoring position. So those are things, that's why you're here. You're working on base running skills. You're working on learning the game, and that's what's so good about minor league baseball, because that's when you develop as a player.
The ball came off the bat of Nava. It was pretty hot, and obviously Roberts thought it had gone through, but good pickup by Andino. And now Ryan Lavarnway, 7th year in the Sox organization. And another guy pretty close to home, 6th round in the 2008 draft out of Yale. .50 games with Pawtucket last year, 3 homers, 24 runs batted in, 25 games with a parent club.
Good breaking ball that time.
And really ran it in on his fists.
Yeah, left-handers, they'll look for that back foot, and they'll try to throw it right at that back foot. That's exactly what he did. Hard to lay off of.
So now Locke working ahead in the count. Gave up the double, but his defense picked him up. 1 strike away. Morrell with an easy play. The Indians are out of the inning. The Paw Sox strand 1. We'll go to the 2nd inning. It's scoreless here in Pawtucket between the Indians and the Paw Sox on CBS Sports Network. Top of the 2nd inning in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson, where the Indians and the Paw Sox are playing after a slight rain delay and a cool and crisp evening here in New England. Glad to have you along, and a great crowd on hand. In Inaugural broadcast, minor league baseball game of the week on the CBS Sports Network. Matt Barnes back on the hill, the right-hander for the Paw Sox, who are actually a man down tonight. Drake Britton called up to the big club, so as Andrew Lambeau stands in, what a season he's got going.
He's swinging the bat really well. Every ball he hits seems to be right on the button. And as you said, with that split doubleheader in Boston, they had to lose one of their pitchers for the evening.
Lambeau in a 6-game hitting streak, and 4 of those games multi-hits. In the Syracuse series, which Indianapolis took 3-1, he went 8 for 17 with a homer and 6 RBI.
That works.
That'll stay in the ballpark in left center. Rentz makes the squeeze, and there's 1 out.
Well, that time you got a good shot at the shortstop. Watching Holt go out, pointing at the ball all the way. Could be a little tough to see balls that are in the air right now until it gets a little darker. But Holt goes back in the whole way. He's just pointing just to make sure. This is good fundamentals, and you're taught to do this. You see the first thing he's doing right now is letting that outfielder know where the ball was just to make sure he sees it. Routine play. I like those fundamentals.
It's the way they taught him to you back in the day. Brent Morrell stepping in, trying to get something going for the Red Sox. There you see, or rather for the Indians. He's trying to get himself started this season against Matt Barnes. Made his AAA debut last summer with the Paw Sox. As we said, coming in off a strong performance against Syracuse, 5 1/3 scoreless innings. Spent the last season with Portland. Average 11.3 strikeouts per 9 last year, 5th best in the minors.
Wow. There's that breaking ball he's been working on that they think one day is really going to be a plus pitch for him. Right now he just doesn't have the control with it like he does his fastball and his changeup. But if he gets that one over, he's really going to be nasty.
Chased a high fastball, strikeout number 2 of the evening for Matt Barnes. And there are 2 outs. Barnes last year finished with 142 total. Second in the Red Sox system. And Doug, he couldn't lay off the high ball.
You can't. You see the high pitch so much better, but when you got a guy throwing this hard, you really can't catch up with it. Of course, they've taken the high strike away from baseball now, where it's got to be belt high to be a strike. They call that a ball. So when hitters start swinging at that, the pitcher's got you right where he wants you.
Chris McGinnis stands in. He had a home run in the last game the Indians played, which was the 3rd win in that Syracuse series. 2nd home run of the year for McGinnis. Charleston, South Carolina. Played his college baseball at the Citadel. Indians have not yet put anyone on base. And Matt Barnes is looking every bit the way we thought he'd look.
Well, they call that easy gas. I mean, you watch him, there's not a whole lot of movement there, and he just comes right over the top with just, and his ball got some movement on it too. That time the ball ran away from the hitter. You know, you watch these games on TV sometime and you say, how can they not hit that pitch? And that's why I write at the top of my scorebook, this game is not as easy as it looks.
Down on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Barnes comes in with an off speed. Haven't seen much of that this year, or tonight rather.
No, he's having trouble. That's the pitch he'll be working with. That's the curveball and the changeup. But once he learns to control that, right now getting by primarily with just 1 pitch.
2-2. McGinnis, a disciplined approach, and Indians pretty good walk to strikeout ratio comparatively speaking. Now up to 165 strikeouts on the year, but 94 walks. On base percentage for this team of .353. And now the first base runner of the evening for the Indians.
You notice most of his fastballs have been up in the zone. Of course, that's a good pitch when you're ahead in the count, but very good discipline at bat that time by Chris McGinnis. His pitch is up and away, and he does a good job not even going after it or offering after it.
Fell behind in the count, but worked him for the walk, his 12th of the year. And Barnes with just his 3rd walk in an abbreviated season thus far, this being his 2nd start of the year. Nevin Ashley with a pretty good 2014 going, a 364 average.
Yeah, only been up 20. He's 21 at bats right now, so hasn't been here too long, but has 5 RBIs in those 21 at bats. And as we said, these rosters change almost daily.
Drifting over, Alex Hassan makes the grab for out number 3. So Barnes puts a man on, but that's where he stays. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd. No score in Pawtucket between the Indians and the Paw Sox on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and McCoy Stadium, which we mentioned at the top of our broadcast, was the site of an historic game. This happened back in 1981. It was tied up at 2-2 on April 18th. The game was halted after 32 innings at 4:09 a.m. The league president shut it down. Then on June 23rd, they finished the game bases loaded on a 2-2 curveball from reliever Cliff Speck. Dave Koza drove in Marty Barrett with a game winner, and Pawtucket won the longest game in professional baseball history. 33 innings, and here at McCoy Stadium, people still talk about it. Take a look at the scorecard, Doug.
Oh,
my hat's off to whoever kept that scorecard that night.
That is absolutely amazing. And you look at some of the players that were also in that ball game. I mean, Cal Ripken Jr., John Valley, Bobby Ojeda, Floyd Rayford, Steve Grilly, Wade Boggs, my goodness.
And Boggs actually had an RBI single in the 21st inning that tied the game. And of course, the players celebrated at first, and they thought, oh, wait, we got to keep playing. 4:09 a.m.
Yeah, I think when they came back to play, it took it 18 minutes to finish the game.
Yeah. Bryce Brents, you get a good look at him standing in his numbers here as the Paw Sox bat in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Ryan Roberts played him perfectly, and there's 1 out.
Boy, he did. He was shading him up the middle a little bit. Ball gets right over the mound. And just a nice play at second base. This ball's hit right on the nose. You see it gets right by the pitcher. He really doesn't make much of an effort after it, and probably did the right thing.
Now Michael Martinez, the Paw Sox second baseman, standing from the left side against Jeff Locke. Beg your pardon, this is Garen Cicchini.
Take a look at now Locke. We talked about him getting that hip turn, giving him a little more balance, helping him get a little more of just his whole body into the throw instead of just his arm.
Cicchini rated the number 7 prospect in the Sox organization. 57 overall in the minor leagues. Led the Sox organization in steals back in 2012. Taken out of high school in the 4th round. Lake Charles, Louisiana. And that was after he missed his senior season because of an injury.
You know, one of the stats that I thought was kind of amazing, on both of these teams, they only have 6 players that were drafted out of high school that have reached this far. All the other kids are college graduates, or at least went to college.
More and more trying to test the waters after playing college baseball. I think the Wood Bat League, such as the league up here on the Cape, have a lot to do with it.
Outstanding league, and a lot of kids come up here to get a chance so the pro scouts can watch them swing that bat instead of the aluminum.
And Cicchini draws the walk, so a base runner for the Paw Sox for the second time in as many innings. So now Brandon Snyder. Snyder with a good season going in terms of home runs. He's got to get the average up, of course. But a .433 slugging percentage. 3 doubles, 4 triples, or rather 4 homers. But only 11 base hits, so when he makes contact, it happens.
You know, one thing I noticed around the cage, these kids are big. I mean, they've all got weight programs now, and I didn't see any little 170 infielders out there. These kids got the weight programs and, you know, strong and swing that bat well.
Locke gave up the double to Ryan Roberts back in the first inning. And he was thrown out trying to move from second to third on a ground ball in the infield. Outfield plays Snyder to pull. Designated hitter tonight for the Paw Sox. Last time these teams played last season, they split 8 games. Paw Sox won the Governor's Cup back in 2012, beat Charlotte, where we will be next week. Durham Bulls won it in 2013, beating these Paw Sox. 1-1 pitch, runner goes. Little hit and run by the Paw Sox, goes foul.
Boy, he got a great jump too. But you've got 1 strike on you, and he got a good pitch to hit. But just an outstanding jump that time by Cicchini.
Well, we mentioned all the speed Cicchini has. Look at that jump.
Yeah, first movement, he's gone.
On a left-hander.
A lot of times that's the best way to go. You just go on first movement, especially if it takes a while for him to get the ball to home plate and to first base. Usually the first base coach will have a clock over there and be timing the pitcher.
Runner goes again, and again a good jump. So it goes as a stolen base for Cicchini and a strikeout of Brandon Snyder. So 2 out. Runner in scoring position again for the Paw Sox.
Yeah, he's gone, and just that nasty breaking ball down and into Snyder, and he really didn't have much chance once he committed. And another easy steal that time for Cicchini.
Third of the year for the Paw Sox third baseman. Now an RBI opportunity for Alex Hassan. Locke worked out of the jam back in the first inning.
You know, Dick, those are things that players will talk about too. If you've got 2 strikes on you, unless it's a sign given from the coach, some players do not like to hit with the runner going. It kind of throws them off and distracts them a little bit. I don't know if that was the case, but it was such an easy steal for Cicchini.
Pawtucket 9th in the league in batting, so Kevin Bowles trying to manufacture some offense. .243 team average. But this team hits a lot of doubles. 56 on the year now for the Paw Sox. Good cut for Alex Hassan. But now down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you like the way Locke's pitching right now. His location is good. His fastballs are down and away, and he's got the good breaking ball that he's not really throwing for a strike. And when he gets ahead, we may have a chance to see another one right here. A good down and in breaking ball.
Pawtucket finished with a winning record in April, 4th straight year. The Paw Sox were successful in April, getting off to another good start. It's interesting for manager Kevin Bowles through the first 27 games, 27 different lineups.
Well, he's got to find out who can play.
That's right.
And this early in the season, It's a good chance to let everybody in. And then when you get off to a good start, that's a bonus.
Well, and again, you come to the ballpark, if you play for him, there's a chance you're going to play.
Yep. Well, you got a lot of talent here. You and I were looking at the roster. There's a lot of prospects on these ball clubs.
The 0-2. Hassan stays alive. Wouldn't surprise you if Pawtucket and the Indians played a close one. There have been a lot of close ones this year already for the Paw Sox. 16 games decided by 1 or 2 runs, and 5 have gone extras. The 0-2 again. Locke tried to get him to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They used to say this was a pitching league. Pacific Coast League was a hitting league. And then the American Association was kind of a little bit of both. Now they're just down to the 2. And the winner of those 2 play for the championship at the end of the year.
Nicely done by Nevin Ashley to block the pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Indy was in the American Association when you played.
Yes.
For the Indians back then.
Yeah, that was Wichita, and Indianapolis, Omaha. And it made it good for travel because you didn't really have to go too far east or too far west.
And if you got the call from the Reds, not too far to Cincinnati.
I believe it was about 90 miles.
2-2. Locke struggling a bit to keep it around the plate now. Was ahead in the count 0-2, but Hassan with the 2 foul balls able to extend the at-bat and now work at the 3 balls, 2 strikes. Zucchini away to his lead at second. This may bring him home. 1-0 Paw Sox. And a man at second remains for the home team.
Good bit of base running right there. Hassan gets a fastball up in his eyes and drives it up the middle. And one of the reasons you try to get your cutoff men or get your outfielders to hit your cutoff men is so that you can keep that runner from going. Fastball up in his eyes. Boy, gets the pitcher ducking right now. Charging hard is Dacker. Makes a throw that's just a little bit high. And good base running right there by Hassan, who just continues to go on. And now they have another man in scoring position.
9th RBI of the year for Hassan. A 1-0 lead for Pawtucket. And Zucchini Steele comes up big. Helps him score his 14th run of the season. Second on the team in that department. Actually tied Hassan and Holt with 15 runs. Now Dan Butler will try to keep the inning alive. A 2-out rally for the home team. Zucchini drew the walk, stole second base as Brandon Snyder struck out trying to advance the runner on a hit-and-run play. And Hassan was down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes. But worked it full, got a pitch he could drive up the middle.
You know, they had that meeting at the mound after the count went to 0-2, and it may have been, don't give him anything too good because you're ahead in the count. Consequently, ended up walking or ended up going the distance with him and got the base hit. So I think sometimes we try to make this game a little bit too tough. It can be simple. You need to simplify it as much as you can, but that's what the beauty of the game is all about.
Lessons you learn at the minor league level that help you if and when you get to the bigs. Locke again struggling. Boy, when he went to 0-2, he really had command.
Yeah.
But then as Hassan started fouling off pitches, he began to get a little wobbly.
Well, he was trying to make that perfect pitch, and sometimes you just can't do that. And then he got it up to a good hitter's count when he went to full. Made a mistake with a high fastball, and Hassan drilled it.
Butler 6 doubles on the year. Along with that 1 home run.
Ball doesn't carry real good in this ballpark. Big part night like tonight where we've had a little rain, probably a little heavy air. beautiful, beautiful sight, though.
A lot of fans out on the berm there you see in left center field, hoping to maybe catch a home run.
Boy, it just doesn't get any prettier than that.
2-2. Goes off speed. McGinnis makes the grab for out number 3, but the Paw Sox do some damage. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left. It came in on the base hit by Alex Hassan. We'll go to the top of the 3rd. It's Pawtucket 1, Indianapolis nothing. CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson. Pawtucket takes the 1-0 lead on Indianapolis, and a good look at a lot of the fans who have shown up tonight to root on their Paw Sox. Good crowd in spite of the rain. Got a 30-minute rain delay, but they stuck it out, and they're watching some pretty good baseball. Jeff Decker to lead things off, and Jeff spells his first name J-A-F-F, as you get a good look at Matt Barnes warming up. We weren't sure how to pronounce it, but we were told, well, you just call him Jeff. It was misspelled on his birth certificate. Joined now in the booth by Michael Hand. He is the Chief Marketing Officer for Minor League Baseball. And we're so proud to be a part of this initial broadcast of the Minor League Game of the Week. And Michael, I got to think that this is obviously a big night for you and for minor league baseball, but just whenever you come to a ballpark like this and you see a crowd like this, you've got to love it.
Yeah, you have to, guys. It's really exciting to be out here on a night like tonight. We're launching this new TV partnership with CBS, and to see a crowd in Pawtucket come out when it was raining all day. You guys were here, and it rained for the last couple of days. Pulling the tarp at 7:05, rainbow broke across the outfield, and they kind of made for a moment here. We were a little concerned we weren't going to make it live tonight, but it worked out.
What is it you enjoy most about working with minor league baseball?
You know, I think it's just the enthusiasm of the fans. There's an emotional connection the fans have here that's different in any other level of baseball. And the fans come out and they get to know the guys become part of the community, and they get to follow these guys all the way up through the ranks. And it becomes a really connection that they get from a young age with the children up through the families, and I think it's a really special moment.
Jeff Decker trying to find his way on against Matt Barnes, and we've talked tonight about a guy like Barnes and Polanco guys. You have a pretty good idea of either been up or you'll see them up in the bigs as well. And you're right, the local fans, they have a little ownership of that, don't they?
They do. You know, these guys, you know, some of them start in the lower ranks and they work their way up through the rookie league, sleeping on guys' couches and staying with families and working their way through, you know. So there's a vested interest in the local community that guys really feel.
You've heard about those rooms, huh?
It's a rumor, I guess.
It's no rumor. We had Class A. We had 6 in a 2-bedroom, and we had 2 pitchers in there, and whoever was pitching got the bed.
Fantastic.
But you know, those stories are what makes it all worthwhile once you get to this level. Get up here. Beautiful sight tonight, and the folks here at Pawtucket have treated us like royalty when we walked in here tonight. So thank you all very much to everyone involved with this.
Yeah, you know, the Pawtucket group is a great group of guys. These guys have been around this organization for a long time. There's a great relationship up to the Red Sox through the entire organization. The Red Sox are a class act, and Mike Timbor and his team here have really done a fantastic job on pretty short notice getting us up and ready to go here.
Laverne Way makes the play to the pitcher Barnes covering, and Doug, fundamental baseball.
Little PFP. We've seen a couple of moves tonight that, you know, missed cutoff man and maybe a runner that went with a ball hit right at the shortstop. But that's why they're here. And Mike, as we were talking about earlier, my 3 years in the minor leagues, each year the development that these kids are getting is for one reason, and that's to get them ready for the big leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's great to watch these guys develop. I spent a couple days ago, I was down in Tampa actually catching a Florida State League game at the advanced A level. And you really just see these guys evolve over time. And, you know, I've been here for a couple of years now, and you've seen a few guys from year to year, and you see the progress they make. It's pretty impressive.
We've talked a lot tonight about Polanco for Indianapolis, and what a great story he is. Discovered literally in Santo Domingo, a guy who was struggling as a pitcher, but a minor league scout saw something in him, and now he might be the next great superstar for the Pirates. There's stories like that all over minor league baseball.
Yeah, there are, and Polanco is a very special guy too. You know, the Pirates have embraced him in the organization, and you know, there's a lot of rumors he's the next guy to get the big break. Right? We could be watching greatness here today in front of us, and The only thing holding him back is some guy by the name of Andrew McCutcheon, who, by the way, is not too shabby of an outfielder himself in the Pirates organization.
I tell you, Bunny, pound for pound, I think he's one of the best players, and I say that in that there's not a whole lot of guys I would pay to go watch play. He's one of those guys that I would. I think he's that good, and he respects the game, and, of course, his numbers speak for themselves.
Sure. And there's another guy. There's another guy who spent quite a bit of time through the minor system. The Pirates were an organization who at the time weren't ready to make the next step, and they kept McCutcheon at AAA level playing for Indianapolis for 3 years. To kind of let him get his development and get moving and come forward. And now you see Polanco in a similar role, being maybe that next guy to take that spot for the Pirates and project him to the next level if possible.
One of the things we also talked about tonight, Mike, is the fact that each team has 6 players each who signed out of high school, and otherwise they went to college to further their career and be drafted again for the most part. I find it interesting that more young men are taking that route.
Yeah, it's an interesting, for these guys, it's a challenge. Baseball is one of those sports where, we have a true minor league system where guys can come up and develop and work their way through, unlike the NFL or some other leagues where a guy might go right from the college ranks and immediately project at the next level and know where they fit in. So, this really is that learning tool. And, as a father with young kids and, who play baseball themselves, you want the education, but, when a kid's got the chance to make that next step, some of them, jump and gravitate to the opportunity early on in their career when a scout recognizes talent.
Well, you got a chance to see that awesome curveball right there, the one that he's been working on. I tell you, when he starts getting control of that, plus his changeup, he is really going to be nasty.
Darno grounded to short his last time up. What's also interesting is both of these teams take another look at the last pitch. But both of these teams really put a lot of stock in their minor league systems.
There's
the Red
that
Sox
breaking
and
ball.
The Pirates.
Yep.
Yeah, they absolutely do. The Pirates obviously have been breeding this system. Last year making the playoffs for them was a really big deal. And you look at that talent, a lot of it was homegrown talent.
Yep. Darno trying to get something going for the Indians, down 1-0 here to the Paw Sox. What a great baseball town, Pawtucket.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it was exciting pulling in here and just seeing the enthusiasm. I sat out by the gates when they opened today at 5:30, and people are lined up down the street clapping their hands. They've got a phenomenal security guard here who gets everyone pretty fired up, and it was pretty exciting to see them storm the gates.
That might have been the one that was checking us out when we came over to the park yesterday and no one else was here.
And, of course, this is the site of the famous 33-inning game, and you've seen the displays here on the walls and the scorecard and the newspaper articles, and just a great slice of history here.
Yeah, absolutely. Pawtucket, Rhode Island's a little sort of a little nook up in the world here, which is a pretty special place when the folks get to come.
And called strike 3. That takes care of the inning for the Paw Sox. And another strikeout from Matt Barnes. Michael, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Back with more in just a minute on the CBS Sports Network. It's Pawtucket 1, Indianapolis nothing as we go to the bottom of the third. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn. Let's go downstairs to Ginger Polson. Ginger?
I am here with Richard, and Richard grew up in Hopedale, Mass. That's about halfway between Providence and Boston. So having the Paw Sox here is something that he really likes. It's something that it's great for it because you get to see your minor league team, your major league team. We were talking about it, but he's a huge Bruins fan. The Bruins are playing tonight. It's a dreary night at the field. What made you come out to the game tonight?
See a good ball game and see the plays that will be coming up to Boston.
So you've been going to games for a while, right?
Yeah, since I was 7, 8 years old.
Who are your favorite players that you've seen come through here?
Wade Boggs, Jim Rice, Fred Lynn, Roger Clemens, quite a few. Dustin Pedroia.
That's awesome. Lots of guys that you get to see. Do you get to see them at Fenway too?
Yeah.
So with the Bruins playing tonight, though, clearly you're decked out in your Bruins gear. How are you keeping track of that game?
By my iPhone. I get a Bruins app. So.
Very cool. You still enjoying this game, though? Fun to be at the ballpark?
Yes. I came to open tonight and it was freezing cold, so this is a lot warmer night.
There you have it, guys. He sounds like an absolute true fan here, midway between Boston and Pawtucket, and he makes it to as many games as he can. Back to you guys.
Well, you're right. This is just the perfect spot for a guy like him because you've got your Paw Sox right here. And, he fouls this one off his leg. That had to sting on a night like tonight. You've got your Paw Sox here. You've got your Red Sox not far away. You've got your Bruins. You've got a minor league hockey team here in town. Pretty good spot to be a sports
It's a
fan.
great sports town. And I tell you, Boston fans, too, are incredible. I mean, they still get mad at me when they see that 75 World Series ring. And I said, I really didn't do anything to do with it. I just kind of sat and had good seats. But they've won a couple of now. My buddy, former teammate Terry Francona came over here and changed it around. And then I believe the defending champions right now are still the Boston Red Sox.
And that's all part of the fun of being a Pawtucket fan, is watching the young guys go through and then being a part of not only playoff teams in the bigs, but World Series champs. And now if you're an Indians fan, as Brock Holt fouls it off, the guys you saw come up through Indianapolis helping the Pirates become more relevant in the majors.
That's true. Al, I tell you, there's nothing like minor league baseball. For the fan, it's the purest form of baseball. It's at its finest. It's not all about the money. It's just about developing talent. And if you're a player, it's about getting better so that you can take that next step to fulfill a dream.
Brock Holt grounded to short his last time up. The leadoff hitter for the Paw Sox, as Doug pointed out, drafted by the Pirates in the 9th round back in '09. Traded in December of 2012, and he's got it going right now.
Wow, good off-speed pitch right there. Had him way out in front. He did a good job just to get a piece of that.
Holt on a hot streak. Went 4 for 5 against Buffalo last week. When he's behind in the count, Doug, his average is .444.
Well, you can see how he shortens up a little bit and just tries to make contact. And you and I have done a lot of games together. We've talked about that's a lost art kind of, because guys do not try to make that adjustment. And that's one thing that pro players will do. They'll spread out a little bit, try to stay back. All they're trying to do now is put the ball in play, and he is working the count very well.
6 doubles and a triple for Holt so far this year. Another foul ball. Paw Sox have really been working Jeff Locke, starting lefty for Indianapolis. Good look at Bruce Crabb, first base coach for the Paw Sox.
You and him had a good conversation before the game started.
Well, he coached at one point the Silver Bullets team that was owned by your friends, the Necro brothers. Here's the 2-2. And women playing baseball, just like in the movie A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
A friend of mine played for him.
She was a pretty good player.
Well, Jenny Dalton was a 3-time All-America softball player in college.
Talking
10th
about
pitch coming up, by the way. For
that's
Jeff
right.
Locke.
Talking about working the count.
Good things happen when you work deep into the count, and a base hit for Brock Holt.
Boy, just kept it simple. Finally got him a pitch that he can handle and drills it through the right side. That is a great at bat. You make Locke throw a lot of pitches. Fastball on the inside part of the plate, turns on it. And he continues that hot streak.
Number 25 on the year for Brock Holt, and now Ryan Roberts doubled his last time up. The deep left center field, but was thrown out at third, trying to move up on a ground ball, and now a mound visit for the Indians. No action as of yet, or absolutely there is action coming in from the bullpen now, as Indianapolis will make a change. That's going to do it for Locke. So down 1-0 with a runner at first, and the manager, Dean Traynor, decides to make a change. When we come back, we'll tell you all about the new pitcher. We'll step out. More to come on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where the Paw Sox lead the Indianapolis Indians 1-0. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson. And a pitching change already to quick hook by Dean Traynor. So Jeff Locke is out, and Phil Irwin is in.
Yeah, I don't know if there was anything that happened or not. I thought they pointed to his knee. Kind of unusual to pull him this quick. But he makes a pitch, and well, you see the catcher kind of point down. I thought maybe he was saying that something was going on with the backside of the pitcher's leg. It may not. He may have just been fixing his own leg. Yeah, well, it may be. There may be a slight injury there.
Irwin made an appearance in the last win over Syracuse, picked up a hold, went 1 2/3, scoreless, gave up no hits, no walks. 19 pitches, 12 for strikes. Inherits a man at first. Ryan Roberts at the plate, nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Indians still looking for their first base hit. Paw Sox with 3 base hits, including the single by Brock Holt away to his lead at first. In foul ground, a lot of room. McGinnis makes the grab for out number 1. That would have been playable anywhere, really, but we've talked before about this ballpark and all the foul ground that you have all the way down to the outfield.
Yeah, it does remind you of only a few ballparks that are left because they've tried to get the fans a lot closer now to the players. And if you're a hitter, you really don't like that. If you're a pitcher, you are very thankful.
So lock on the hook for Holt. They've given up just the 1 earned run thus far. Now Daniel Nava reached on a fielder's choice, grounded to the left side of the infield his last time up.
And I mean hit a rocket.
Another great jump for the Paw Sox, but a good throw by Nevin Ashley. Sliding in ahead of it is Holt, second stolen base of the night for the Paw Sox. And they steal their 12th base of the year.
Well, not a team that statistically you would see running a lot, but he gets a really good jump. Take it. Doesn't even look straight steal all the way.
Martinez actually couldn't hang on to the throw, so not as close as it looked from up here. So now Nava with a run in scoring position and 1 out. Told you before about his unlikely trip to professional baseball.
And you were right, Dick, in saying there's probably stories like that all over the place. But man, when they get there, it is a good one.
Sox signed him in 07 out of the Golden League and paid exactly $1 for his rights, with the understanding that if he made the team, they would kick in another $1,499 to up the ante to $1,500. But technically, his rights were sold from the Golden State League, from Chico, to the Red Sox for $1.
Amazing.
Had a rough 3 weeks in Boston and was sent back down to Pawtucket. Good off-speed pitch by Irwin.
Boy, had him
Nava goes
way
down.
out. Yeah, good slider right there. Had him out in front. Tell you, just great location on that pitch.
So now 2 down, and Irwin 1 out away from getting out of another small jam. The Paw Sox have had a runner in scoring position in each of the first 3 innings. Hassan coming up with an RBI single back in the 2nd inning. Ryan Lavarnway grounded to 3rd his last time up.
You know, you get to this level, you really don't see a lot of soft tossers either.
No.
I mean, today these kids coming out of school, they're all throwing 90 plus. And I thought at first that was just an exaggeration until I actually started going to games.
Off speed, inside out, swinging. Polanco on the run. We can't get it. That's going to score a run. And Polanco literally kicks it around. So Lavarnway with an RBI single and a 2-0 Paw Sox lead. Again, a runner at second.
Blanco looked like his spikes may have come out from under him as he was going after that ball. It was going to be a single because I don't think Lavarnway was going to take off. Boy, does a good job of that ball down and away and taking it just the other way.
Really shortened his stride as well.
And you watch Blanco come over and you see him slip. And as he slipped, runner's going to score easily with 2 outs, running all the way.
RBI number 7 on the year for Lavarnway as Holt comes around to score for team leading 16th time. Bryce Brentz will try to keep it going. Grounded to second his last time up.
You know, that wasn't a bad pitch. He just did a good job of hitting right there. That pitch was down and away.
So again, the stolen base comes into play for the Paw Sox. Sox have stolen 2 bases. Both runners have come around to score.
Good fastball in on the hand. Looks like he has good stuff. Got a good breaking ball, but just off to a rough start early in the year is Irwin.
Irwin on in relief of Jeff Locke.
They say Bryce Brentz, who's one of the top-ranking prospects in the organization, strong, compact swing, and hit it hard to all fields. That time, just got eat up with a good curveball.
That'll do it for the Paw Sox in the bottom of the 3rd inning, but they scratch again. The RBI single by Lavarnway. And that sends Pawtucket to the 4th inning with a 2-0 lead on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to Pawtucket, where that's what we're seeing of the moon tonight. Gorgeous look. Nice job by our crew.
That's the one that was always in the cartoons, wasn't it? Was somebody sitting on the end of it?
If you say so.
That's right. They don't have those cartoons anymore.
No. 2-0. Paw Sox leading the Indians. There's Matt Barnes, who has been very sharp. 3 strikeouts, just the 1 walk so far tonight. Robert Andino stands in. 2nd time tonight. He hit a fly ball to right field. Andino making just his 2nd appearance of the season for the Indians. 2nd start at shortstop. Indians had to deal with back-to-back rainouts while they were on the game. It's the first of 8 games total between these 2 teams this season.
Barnes now looked like he may have tried to overthrow. Kind of gives you a little Aaron Harang look, except a little smaller version.
Now falls way behind in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Really the first inning we've seen him try to overthrow just a little.
Yep. Barnes just his 2nd start of the year. Went 5 1/3 last time out. Gave up just 1 run. That coming in a win over Syracuse. 7 strikeouts. Couldn't stop himself. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, I love when hitters look back at umpires now and ask them if that was a good pitch after the umpire had just called it a strike. And sometimes you're asking, did I swing? But that time it looked like, was that a good pitch?
Barnes challenging with a fastball, and Andino stays alive. Barnes considered 9th best overall prospect in the Boston system. 4th best pitcher. Take a look at his pitch count. 29 out of the 50 for strikes.
Yeah, and you would expect tonight he'll be on some kind of pitch count, just being his 2nd outing.
Andino stays alive. Count is full.
The only word we got on Locke was that he did have an injury coming out of spring training. Had to do with, I believe, his hip or his side, and we don't know if that is the reason he came out tonight or not. If we find word, certainly we'll let you know. But
kind of a cool evening. No sense taking a chance.
I agree.
3-2 again. And it'll stay that way for at least 1 more pitch as Andino works Matt Barnes. His career high in innings, 7. It happened last year with Reading of the Eastern League. Against Reading, I should say. 9th pitch of this at-bat coming up.
It's a good way to start the inning because you get your pitcher throwing an awful lot of pitches, knowing he probably is on a pitch count, but just a good battle here.
But he missed him with a fastball. Second walk of the night issued by Matt Barnes. Missed with that heater, which is considered by Baseball America the best fastball in the Red Sox farm system.
Well, as we said earlier, he can rush it up there to close to 96 when he's healthy.
Barnes, part of the Red Sox 40-man roster added in November of last year. Now Gregory Polanco struck out his last time up.
Well, that's some kind of start he's had, hitting 400. And if the pitching is similar across this league, then it's pretty darn good.
Polanco took the day off in that last game against Syracuse. First off day of the year for him. Off-speed pitch. And now Barnes way out ahead in the count.
It's that straight change that he's got better command of than he does his curveball. Very impressive, these young athletes today.
Interesting talking to Mike Hand from minor league baseball about the fact that Polanco's going to have to wait his turn just as McCutchen did.
But yeah, McCutchen is a player.
Oh.
You know, sometimes there's just no room, regardless of how good you are, talented you are. There's just not a lot of room to get to the big leagues because it has a lot to do with timing, has a lot to do with who's playing in front of you.
But he's too good to let him go, to trade him or
Oh, that's true.
put him in a package. Barnes missing up and in with a fastball. You can see he wanted it under the hands.
Got him on a good fastball last time up when he threw that high one that Polanco couldn't lay off of.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tried to sneak it in the back door. That must have been low. Now the count is full.
I tell you, I don't know how he laid off of that pitch.
No.
That was just a good changeup right there, and he lays off of it just a little bit low. It's a 6'4" kid. You can tell that he's but I don't know how he didn't swing at it.
Dan Butler tried to help.
Yours truly would have been sitting over in the dugout right now.
Interesting matchup. Barnes and Polanco, a full count. Interesting that Lavarnway tries to make the play at second and gets Andino.
I tell you, that was a risky play.
It was.
You know that Andino runs pretty good, but he did a nice job of catching it, wheeling and throwing a strike. Ball's not hit very hard. It's a jam shot right now, and you'd think the easy play would be to get one, but he doesn't even hesitate. Close play at second base. As you see him pick it up, and I mean, he turns and doesn't even think about going to first.
So now Andrew Lambeau.
That's close.
With a runner at first and 1 out. Lambeau led the Pirates organization with 32 homers last year. Finally got his first of the season last Tuesday, this past Tuesday, in the win over Syracuse. Had a couple of base hits in that win. Barnes changing speeds a little bit. The end of the month of April, Lambeau first in the IL in doubles, tied for 4th in extra base hits, was tied for 5th in average. So he tore it up that month. In fact, his 11 doubles are tied for second in all of the minor leagues. Fly ball to left his last time up.
That's a lot of doubles. On pace to hit over 50 or close to 50 for a season. That's a lot of doubles. I don't know if Polanco will run or not. He's tried it 8 times, been successful half of them. There he goes.
Hit and run. And Polanco will have to move back with a count, no balls, 2 strikes. Both teams starting runners, stealing, trying to be aggressive offensively. Big series tonight. They tell Polanco to button up the jersey. So now Lambo will try to extend the at-bat against Barnes. Now no balls, 2 strikes. That'll find foul ground as Polanco had shortened his lead considerably.
And he may not be going now because there's a big hole right there. And he has a chance to go to first to third, as you can see, between first and second base. Get a left-handed hitter up.
Lambo needs a new bat.
Yeah, threw him a breaking ball, looked like on the inside part of the plate. Hit it off the hands.
It'll sting a little bit on a night like tonight. But a lot of short sleeves here at the ballpark. These New Englanders, I should say. I was trying to say nor'easterners. They're good with weather like this, yeah. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Andrew Lambo with a new piece of lumber, and Polanco away to a short lead at first. Barnes misses downstairs with a breaking pitch.
That's a good place to miss, though.
Yep.
And you can see he's got a lot of rotation on that curveball right now. He just hasn't been able to control it. I mean, this ball is really spinning.
Nice job by Butler to keep Polanco at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lambo deep in that left-handed batter's box with that back foot. About as close to the inside edge as you can get. With that open stance. Outfield plays him to go the other way in center and in left.
Boy, there's
Barnes
that hook.
Gets the best of him.
That is just nasty right there. When you're throwing that hard, then you come back with that breaking ball that starts on a little bit of the plate and then has so much rotation and breaks down towards that back foot. That is hard to stay off of.
Strikeout number 4 on the night for Barnes. And now Brent Morrell. Indians third baseman. Struck out his last time up. They started Polanco earlier.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try him again to get him in scoring position.
He's got those long legs. When he gets them going, man, he's fun to watch.
Well, it's obvious there's probably not going to be a lot of runs scored tonight off of Barnes. Seems to have total control of the game right now. So every time you could pick up one here or there.
Well, as you said, he likely will not finish the game. There's that foul ground coming into play. You can't give up on the foul balls. So the Indians hoping just to stay close and maybe get into the Paw Sox bullpen, see what kind of damage they can do if they can't reach Barnes. But he still has some work to do here against Brent Morrell with a man on first and 2 out. One pitch, runner goes. And Polanco easily beats the throw, and he's in scoring position.
Boy, to be that big and be that quick, 6'4", 230 pounds. Those big, long strides. He takes a peek at home to see if the ball was hit. It wasn't. Just perfect execution.
Indians like to run. That's their 27th stolen base of the season. They've tried 45. So they like to put the pressure on the other guys. And Polanco now in scoring position with 2 out. Morrell trying to put the Indians on the scoreboard for the first time. That is tagged, but that is foul.
Yeah, he hit that ball good just down the line. And
Polanco reached on a fielder's choice.
you and I got a chance to talk to the broadcasters here, and they said, be careful on foul balls because you may call it out of play and it may not be.
Yep.
So it was a good piece of advice.
Off speed upstairs. Josh Maurer, Jeff Levering, part of the radio crew for Pawtucket. Josh in his first year here. Also the voice of UMass football and basketball.
How about that?
3-2 pitch, runner goes. And another strikeout for Matt Barnes. So the Indians get a man in scoring position, but that's where he remains, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's Pawtucket 2, Indianapolis nothing. Back with more minor league baseball on CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, and roving in the stands is Ginger Paulson. Ginger.
Yeah, one of the cool things about minor league baseball is all of these teams have so many opportunities to give back to the community, and they find different ways to. One of the ways that they do that is by having the Most Improved Students program. And I am here with some of those students. Guys, how are you liking the Paw Sox game today?
Awesome.
How about you guys?
Good. Amazing.
Say they really like it. Hey, Isaiah, you said it was your first Paw Sox game ever. How are you liking it?
Awesome. The best game I've ever been to.
Really? Who's your favorite player?
Daniel Nava.
What about you guys?
Mine is Ryan Roberts and also Daniel Nava.
What about you?
I love Daniel Nava. He is because my name is his name.
Oh my gosh. We have some big Daniel Nava fans here. Those guys are really excited that Daniel Nava is playing in AAA right now. Sounds like they're having a great time in the game. And guess what? She even has a ball.
We got a ball.
They're having fun here in Pawtucket, enjoying the game, having fun, and enjoying their free tickets for being Most Improved Students. Congratulations, guys. Back up to you.
And we saw the students, thanks Ginger, honored in pregame ceremonies, and so they'll never forget their first trip to the ballpark when they got to see their favorite players and they were on television. Not too bad.
Not too shabby. What a great reward, too, for kids that are doing well.
Aaron Cicchini leading things off for the Paw Sox here in the home half of the 4th inning, with Pawtucket leading at 2-0 on our inaugural minor league baseball game of the week here on the CBS Sports Network. Glad to have you along with us. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson, out amongst the Paw Sox fans.
And Dick, here's a kid they really like. One of their top prospects, missed the spring in 2010 because he had a torn ACL, but he bounced back. And is a kid that can swing the bat. He can run, too. 51 stolen bases. So he's got some good speed. He's got a little pop. And drove in 62 runs. So here's a kid that they really, really like.
4th year professional baseball. Got to spend his first spring training camp of the big club this year. And he is also on the 40-man roster. So as you mentioned, the Red Sox think he has a bright future.
My first big league camp, I lasted 2 weeks. Then they sent me down and then brought me up to play all the games and take the road trips. But now they've changed all that because they actually pay guys to do that now.
There's another lucky fan with a baseball. Cicchini drew a walk, stole a base, came around to score on a base hit back in the 2nd inning. In fact, he scored the first run of the game.
6'3", 220, born in Sulphur, Louisiana. Phil Irwin still on the hill for Indianapolis. On in relief of Jeff Locke, and a good off-speed pitch gets him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts now by Irwin. And there's one out.
Boy, just good off speed that time. Comes back, looked like a big breaking ball. Has him out in front. Say, changing, if you can throw strikes and change speeds, you only need a couple of pitches. And we're seeing that tonight with a couple. Irwin's doing a great job. Same with Barnes.
Irwin with his 5th straight appearance out of the bullpen. Most consecutive relief outings of his career. Brandon Snyder struck out his last time up. First time facing Irwin. Right-hander gave up 6 runs over his first 2 games out of the pen. But now he's given up just 1 earned run since. Over a span of 7 innings.
You can tell he's got good movement on his pitches. He's got a fastball that'll run away from the hitter like a cutter, and then he just had one there that ran inside on the right-handed hitter.
Blows it right by Snyder. Fastball up in the zone. Indianapolis bullpen sharp in that last win over Syracuse. Bullpen went 2 1/3 of no hit relief.
Well, the bottom just dropped out of that. I don't know what that pitch was, but it looked like
Neither
a
did he.
fastball. But I mean, the bottom just fell out of it. Watch this. Wham! You could see the catcher almost smack down at it. Just a good fastball. Had he beat, but wow.
Interesting to see now what Irwin comes with.
That good hook.
Snyder gets just enough. Irwin really making a bid here to be a workhorse for this Indianapolis team. Snyder was born in Las Vegas. Currently lives in Ashburn, Virginia. Signed as a free agent acquisition last March. Down the right field line, of Polanco will make the grab. 2 out.
With plenty of room to spare.
You kind of run out of some of that foul ground down there midway through the outfield.
You know, that's still a lot more than you see at some ballparks now. And they've got a little area down, a picnic area where folks can come and relax. And as the summer continues or progresses and we get out of the spring and the sweat weather, that'll be full with a lot of fans. They draw very well here.
Alex Hassan standing in now. Owns one of the RBI base hits. He put the Paw Sox on the board back in the 2nd inning with an RBI single that drove home Cicchini. Austin born in Quincy, Massachusetts. Off-season lives in Arlington. You've got to think he grew up a Red Sox fan.
And you know, a lot of these kids stay up here as well and play in the Cape Cod League, so they're very familiar with this area. And a good breaking ball.
6-year of pro ball for Alex. 3rd Major League spring training camp.
See that pitch right there? That's the one that put me into slow pitch softball.
You and a lot of others. High and deep to center, but Decker's got room. And that'll do it for the Paw Sox. So Hassan puts a charge into the baseball and the crowd. But it's 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We'll go to the 5th. 2-0 Pawtucket. CBS Sports Network. Tomorrow's conversations start tonight. Get the latest word in sports on Leadoff tonight at midnight Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson, and Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The inaugural broadcast of the minor league baseball game of the week. And the Paw Sox lead the Indians 2-0. Of course, Pawtucket, the AAA team for the Boston Red Sox, and the Indians feed right into the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're seeing some future Red Sox and Pirates tonight. Matt Barnes still on the hill for the Sox, and he has been in command tonight. Chris McGinnis will try to find his way on for the Indians. McGinnis drew a walk last time up, one of only two Paw Sox, or rather Indians, to reach base tonight against the Paw Sox.
Yeah, had a very good at bat last time, and you can tell he's very patient at the plate, very quiet hands.
And if it stays fair, which it does, that could be extra bases for McGinnis. Makes the turn and easily into second with a double and a leadoff man in scoring position for the Indians. And for the first time, the leadoff man reaches.
Boy, he had such a good at bat the last time. This time you see the pitch looks like it's a little bit away, but just a great swing. Hooks the ball down into the corner. Got two written all over it. And a good job by Hassan to get to it and get the ball in.
McGinnis able to extend those arms and get around on Barnes. Something that his teammates have not been able to do as of yet. First base hit for Indianapolis, and now Nevin Ashley hit a fly ball to right his last time up. Butler digs it out. Alex Hassan in a couple of steps in right field. Nava in center, a few steps toward the right center field alley. One on and nobody out. Tying run at the plate for Indianapolis. And a mighty cut by Nevin Ashley.
Yeah, he was trying to tie this bad boy up right there, but a good high, hard fastball. And as good as he's throwing tonight, that's going to be a pitch that will be awfully tough to catch up with.
Ashley making his fourth start of the year. Started Tuesday night in the win over Syracuse.
Boy, every now and then Barnes tries to hump up and he comes across his body. Doesn't quite have that good balance that we saw in the first couple of innings when he was just nice and smooth, but that happens to a lot of pitchers. You get ahead of a hitter and you want to put him away, or you get close and you try to get a little extra on it. You end up messing up your mechanics a little.
And a weird hop keeps the ball in the infield and saves a run for the Paw Sox.
The ball looked like it hit off the pitcher's foot maybe.
We'll take another look at it. It looked like it was heading for center field, or like Brock Holt might have a play on it.
Well, you watch it here, it goes, yep, right off the back of his
Give
foot.
Barnes credit, he stuck his foot out.
Of course, if he doesn't stop it, it could be caught. Well, it may be a base hit. Yeah, I think that's got base hit written all over it. So it saves a run.
Holt does a great job smothering the baseball right there. Back-to-back base hits, runners at first and third now. And Jeff Decker with an opportunity. 6 RBIs this year with runners in scoring position. Barnes gets right back to business with a fastball. Decker a ground ball his last time up. McGinnis open with a double. He's at third. Now Barnes ahead in the count. Goes back to that bread and butter pitch when he's
when in doubt, let's just bring the gas. You know, I was watching his mechanics and he throws the ball so well. You don't see pitchers get themselves into a good fielding position as much as they used to. And I don't think it's taught as much because these kids throw so hard. Maybe it is a little tougher for them to do that. But it used to be pitchers like Greg Maddux or Jim Cott, guys that were great fielding pitchers.
Bob Gibson.
Gibson, yeah.
Barnes goes off speed, but he's too high with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, still overthrowing just a little bit on that breaking ball. He did that time. Boy, he's got a good one, though. And you see his pitch total now up to 80 already. But there doesn't seem to be any action going on in the bullpen right now.
That'll find foul ground. Kent holds 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And as I say that, there's action seems to be going on in the bullpen.
Just now. There's a good look at the pitch count. Last time out for Barnes, and that's where he is right now. And in a spot of trouble here in the 5th inning. He went 5 1/3 last time out. He has been sharp up until this inning when the Indians have put their first 2 men on base. 1-2 to Decker. Goes off speed. Another souvenir. Indianapolis in first place in the IL West by 5.5 games over Columbus. 17-8 on the season.
Boy, good fastball right there.
Got him to chase. So 1 out now. Strikeout number 6 for Matt Barnes. Dalier Hinojosa loosening for the Paw Sox. There he is. Barnes still with some work to do. Michael Martinez fouls 1 out of play.
I tell you, these Indians hitters are taking some pretty good cuts off of Barnes. They're just not able to connect right now because he has that little hop on his fastball.
So a big strikeout of Decker. Martinez now, the .364 hitter with runners in scoring position. What a grab by Bryce Brent. A run will score. And the Paw Sox trade the run for the out.
Boy, outstanding defensive play and outstanding base runner. They'll certainly try to appeal probably as they do down to third base, but the umpire already says no way. And it was good base running because I had my eye on him. You see him coming in. Brent dives. Oh, what a great catch. Gets up. That's just outstanding. Makes a good solid throw to home, just a little bit wide, but good base running as well.
McGinnis comes on to score to make it a 2-1 game. And Ashley remains at first base. Now with 2 down the top of the order, Chase d'Arnaud. 0 for 2 tonight, a ground ball, a strikeout. Well, we thought we would see some athletic plays here at McCoy Stadium, and we have.
That was a great catch.
You know, you wonder why not let that go foul. But at this stage of the game,
well, you figure he's probably not going to give up a lot of runs, so you take, especially in the 5th inning, you take the outs.
Plus, it gives Brent a chance to show the big club, I can make plays like this. d'Arnaud represents the top of the order. Barnes in his 2nd start of the year. 2 outs, a runner at first, and a 1-run lead for the home team. Not much wind to speak of tonight.
Well, you know these guys are a little pumped up too, speaking of that play in left field, because it's a television game. How often do they get to play on TV? I think they do maybe a half a dozen up here during the course of the season. And I remember when it was just game of the week with Tony Kubek and Joe Garagiola, man, we would go through some rituals that we never went through. You know, hair fixed just right, uniform good. So, and you were diving for balls that might be going over the fence.
He goes the other way, but Hassan is there and makes the grab for out number 3. So the Indians score on a tremendous catch by Bryce Brentz, and it's a 2-1 game in Pawtucket on the CBS Sports Network. Pawtucket with a 2-1 lead over Indianapolis up here in Rhode Island. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, and Ginger Paulson, our roving reporter, is in one of the suites here at McCoy Stadium. But Ginger, there aren't suites like many that we've seen.
No, they are not. McCoy Stadium, like we talked about, it has a lot of history, but one of the coolest things that they have is the suites here. They're actually at ground level. You can see the game right like you're almost in the team's dugout. It's what it feels like. I have some girls with me who are at their first game in a suite here. Guys, what do you guys feel like when you're in this suite?
It's really cool. It's an awesome view.
It's really fun. You can see the players like up close.
What's your favorite part about it?
Just this view. It's amazing.
Like talking to the players and stuff and rooting them on.
See, there you go. That's one of the things you get in minor league baseball. You can't really get in a major league ball club. You actually get to talk to the players from these suites and like get the balls tossed to you by the umps. These kids are having an absolute blast. More kids here with the Paw Sox promotion for the improved student program. Really cool how they're giving back to the community, and these kids are enjoying the games and having fun with the players too. One of the perks of minor league baseball, guys.
Thanks, Ginger. No suites. We were down in one of them earlier today during batting practice, and it's just a real interesting way to watch the game.
It's a great way to watch the game. I like the idea, too, to get all these kids here. Now, was your first time to a ball game in that good of a seat?
Yeah, Mom and Dad, I want to go back to that seat we had last time. But they'll come back. You know they'll be back. Dan Butler digging in against Phil Irwin.
Phil Irwin's done an outstanding job since coming in and replacing Locke. Showing a variety of pitches, good fastball, breaking ball, and it's got a lot of movement.
And Irwin pitching out of the stretch with bases clear, and Butler sends one in the gap. Jeff Decker covers the ground and runs it down, 1 out.
Smooth out there in center field.
Phil Irwin played his college baseball at Ole Miss, 6'3", 210. And resides in Germantown, Tennessee. But they like their college baseball down in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah, they weren't too kind to our Wildcats last weekend.
No. Ole Miss, one of the best in the NCAA at producing runs. Now Brock Holt, he also good at producing runs. Scored 1 tonight. Singled in the 3rd, stole second base. Came around on the base hit by Ryan Lavarnway. That is the difference right now. 2-1 Paw Sox lead it over the Indians.
There are a lot of pluses for this young man because he can play several positions and swings the bat well. And every team is looking for a guy that can come play 3 or 4 different positions.
Been in 50 major league games between the Red Sox and the Pirates over the last couple of years. Born in Fort Worth, Texas. Still lives in Texas, down in Stephenville. Paw Sox put up a run in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. Indians answered with a run in the 5th. Irwin blows it by him. Count is full.
Good fastball on a good hitter's count right there, too. You can see just good heat. Couldn't catch up with it.
3-2 pitch.
Comes back the same place. Remember, Holt put such a good at bat on him last time before getting that single to right field.
Holt spent most of last year with Pawtucket after coming over from the Pittsburgh organization, but he did spend 26 games in the bigs. Called strike 3.
Well, just nasty. Painted the corner on him. Good fastball.
And Holt never looked up.
No, he wasn't going to argue on that pitch. See right here, he just paints the outside corner. That's just a nasty pitch.
4th strikeout of the night for Phil Irwin. He surrendered the RBI single that brought Holt in, but the Paw Sox have not touched him since. Now Ryan Roberts doubled back in the 1st inning. Thrown out trying to go from 2nd to 3rd on a ground ball in the infield. Popped out to first base his last time up. In fact, he was the first hitter that Irwin faced coming on in relief.
Boy, he's in a nice groove right now, locating that fastball down and away to hitters, and with a lot of movement on it, and coming back with that big breaking ball.
Wind has picked up a little bit, blowing out to right field. You're just joining us. We had a rain delay of about 30 minutes before the game began, delaying our inaugural broadcast.
Isn't this exciting?
Well, we walked into this ballpark, and it's just a classic minor league park. Holds 10,000 plus. A lot of the fans still here. Off-speed pitch, and he couldn't stop. Good inning for Phil Irwin and the Indians of Indianapolis. And we'll go to the 6th. Pawtucket 2, Indianapolis 1. Back with more on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson, where the Paw Sox lead the Indians 2-1. And a new pitcher now for Pawtucket as Matt Barnes leaves after an outstanding effort in a 2-1 lead. Dalier Hinojosa will take over on the mound. I knew I'd mess that up, but we're going to talk now with the president of the Paw Sox. You can say his name better than I can.
Hinojosa.
I knew I'd mess that up. But Mike Tambour is with us, and first of all, thank you very much for having us. This is a wonderful place.
Listen, we are thrilled that you folks are here. Welcome, CBS Sports. I think this game of the week is tremendous, and we're flattered to be the first club to host.
This place is dripping with history and dripping with tradition, isn't it?
Well, you know, this building was built in 1942, and we kind of celebrate the players that have come through here, the Jim Rices and Fred Linds and Wade Boggs and Carlton Fisks. It's Red Sox. It's Red Sox all the way. It drips Red Sox. But you know what? We love that history. It's what we're all about, and it's what the fans have come to embrace year after year here.
And you celebrate it in such a huge way. This is really impressive in the clubhouse with not just an exhibit about the longest game, but all the great players who have been here.
We call this our Walk of Fame. It's really the walkway that goes from one end of the stadium to the other underneath, and it really tells the story of the ball club. The longest game was a remarkable night.
How much of a plus is it for you? It's almost a rhetorical question. You are, geographically speaking, so close to the big club.
You know, when we first came here in 1974, people said we'd never succeed in the shadow of the big league club, you know? And it's been just the opposite. And now I think the trend in the industry is that the major league club wants their AAA club as close as possible. And I think we probably started that trend years ago.
Well, they finally started doing that with a lot of other organizations. But, you know, I've been so impressed, of course, with the history. And I'm a fan first. I happened to be a player later, but I was a fan first. As we see a ball popped up to first base. We were talking about some of that foul territory a little bit earlier, how big it was. But, you know, when I walked in here today, there's nothing like minor league baseball because it's the purest form of ball. Kids still have a dream that they're trying to fulfill. They're close to the fans who adopt them as part of their family. I think tonight I was probably as excited as anybody coming to this ballpark.
You know, it's great to have you here, Doug, and I think that you know more than most because you played. I think the friendships you build as a player at this level is something that you hold on to for the rest of your life. And I'm not sure that happens at the big league level.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. We were talking earlier that I happened to have 5 roommates my first year, and 2 were pitchers. And if one of them was pitching the next day, he got the big bed. And then we would all sleep on the floor or wherever, you know, with bunk beds and stuff. And you'll never forget that. And those guys have become lifelong friends, and some of them didn't make it to the big leagues, but I love them.
Here's a guy who needs a big bed. He's a big guy, Gregory Polanco. But you mentioned him, Mike, when you came in. I know you love to have him on your squad. But
This
what a
kid,
talent.
he's a special-looking player. He really is. I mean, he looks like a player. I know his numbers are outstanding, and he's a top 10 prospect in Baseball America. But this is really our first look at him, and he's everything that they said he would be.
You've got great prospects on your team as well, don't
We
you?
really do. Our pitching staff is something to. I'm not sure we've ever had a staff with 5 blue-chip starters. The Red Sox system right now is among the best in our game.
Polanco drills it to right center on the move. Nava, and he can't catch up. Hassan comes over, but they're not going to keep Polanco from third base. That's a triple.
Wow. Those big long strides that he has, too, showed a little bit of his power and his speed.
You know what's special here as Red Sox country is that people come here and say, I saw him first.
Yep.
They get the first opportunity to say, I knew that kid was going to play in Boston. And I think that's what makes it special here also.
Now that the Sox have started winning world championships, too, that's got to be really special for you and your fans because former Paw Sox are parts of those World Series.
That's what makes it nice. You know, when we came here in '74, you know, we hoped we would get 1 World Series ring. To have 3 is a little surreal, guys.
Yeah, you can stop now. That's right. Well, my question is going to be, what happens when the Cubs win 1?
Yeah.
Then what do we do then?
They celebrate up and down their minor league organization is what they do. Is with a man on third, the tying run, Andrew Lambeau stands in. We got a good look at Matt Barnes in the infield, by the way, drawn in to try to cut off this run with 1 out. But Barnes is special, too, isn't
Barnes is #1 round pick. I mean, the organization thinks very highly of him. UConn kid, the basketball capital of the world.
Thanks for that. As we rolled in from Lexington, Kentucky.
That's right. I believe that was a setup right there.
They earned it, man.
They did earn it.
But Barnes is someone the Sox are counting on to be a long-term player.
And it's always fun when you can get someone who's fairly local.
Oh yeah, it really is nice. You know, he's about 50 miles south, and I'm sure a lot of fans come up to see him.
Another hard hit ball to right center field. And that's gone. Andrew Lambeau turns on a fastball. And the Indians are roughing up your bullpen, Mike.
He didn't miss much of that, boy.
No.
I'll tell you. I mean, it's getting to be a cold night out there, and he got all of that one.
Yeah, we were saying the ball didn't really care too much, but that ball jumped off the bat. And he's been swinging a hot bat, we had heard, coming into the series anyway. You know, one thing that ball's down and in, of course, as we all know, you don't throw a left-hander. But it's a strong kid, hits it a long way. One thing I've always appreciated about the Red Sox is the way that you all, not only with your history, but the way you've treated your former player. You've made him a part of your system, a part of your coaching staff, and they've never been afraid to have them come back and do things with the organization.
No, you know, I think that tradition, I think you want to continue to breed it, and we try and do that here with the old Red Sox players and old Paw Sox players. I mean, we like to celebrate those guys and the success that they had in the organization.
You see just how this ball clears into the stands, and he really cranked that one, did Lambeau. Now the word is that you were here for the longest game.
Yeah, I didn't shut the lights off.
That was my next question.
We're going to ask you
How
that.
long did you stay?
I was here till 4:09 a.m.
Wow.
The night of the longest game, the wind was blowing straight in from right field. There were 3 or 4 shots hit up in that wind that when you heard them off the bat, you said they're gone, and the shortstop made the play.
Recognize that?
There's the scorecard of that
There's
game.
your game.
Never forget it, boy. Never forget it. What was remarkable about that game is Rochester scored in the top of the 21st,
Yep.
and we scored in the bottom of the 21st.
Wow.
Wade Boggs got the base hit, and not one guy shook his head.
And I read where somebody did a head count at the time at 4:09 a.m. There were 27 fans. In the
19, and
Just
they all got season tickets.
Oh
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, we used to say in a tie ball game, and it was running late. If we were, or even if we were behind one, come on, guys, let's either get none or two.
It was an unbelievable night, I'll tell you. And the funny thing is, it was Easter Sunday Eve.
Oh, wow.
And we left here about 6 o'clock in the morning, went home, took a shower, and came back for an afternoon game. And the afternoon game ended with a home run in the last of the ninth to break a 2-2 tie.
Wow. Had it on my birthday, April the 18th. I remember, that was my birthday. I remember that. All right, your favorite to come through here since you've been
Favorite player? You can't, there's so many of them. But Timmy Nearing is a guy you think of. Just a special guy, just a great guy. Hoffman, Glenn Hoffman, he's a third base coach for the Padres now, outstanding guy. We've had a lot of great guys. We got some great guys on this year's club. Our third baseman, Cicchini, is a kid you really got to watch, and he's a special kid.
A lot of speed.
Great little hitter. Great big hitter. He's a big boy.
Chris McGinnis has been a tough out, by the way. A double, scored a run in the fifth, drew a walk in the second.
And I think he's a former Red Sox kid, too. I think we traded him to Texas. I'm not sure how he got over here to Pittsburgh.
It's kind of nostalgic for me. I look right over to the window next to us. The broadcaster for the Indians, first year in broadcasting was 1974, the year that I played in Indianapolis.
Oh, boy.
And he has stayed in the game, and he was a fan of the game. I think he went to Brooklyn College. He loves the game. And that's what's so cool is to see people that are here every single night that just want to get involved and watch good baseball. In our hometown, we have a Class A team. My mom and dad are 86. Don't miss a ball game.
Is that right?
Is that amazing?
That's nice.
Because they just love the game.
Nice. Yeah.
And so this is hopefully a chance that you can show the world that there's, what the minor leagues are about, good quality baseball, and kids that they're going to be watching in the future.
And it's about quality family entertainment in a safe environment at the lowest possible price. And I think that's what the industry has done. And I think that's why the industry has had this renaissance.
I agree.
People are looking for good, wholesome things to do again, and minor league baseball has played a prominent role.
We had a ballpark full of kids tonight.
Exactly
Good students.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
With their CBS posters. I'm not sure if you saw some of them, but I really got a kick out of some of them tonight.
We like that.
I don't know that I would have got to come to a game if it was because it was honor students. They would have had to have another way to get me there.
Well, back to the bullpen, the Paw Sox go. So the evening for Dalier Hinojosa is over, and
I think it's just
roughed him up. No,
I think just a little busy. They got the bullpen active right now.
They're active, but they're going to leave him in.
Some good young arms. You've got a starting rotation here that a lot of big league clubs would like to have.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I think we've got 5 kids to really write down the names and follow them, because I think they each have a shot to make it to the big league level and maybe do some damage. Workman has already been there, pitched Game 6 of the series. Yep. Did a great job for John Farrell last year. De La Rosa, the kid we got from the Dodgers. Alan Webster, another kid we got from the Dodgers. And Anthony Renato, a big 6'7" right-hander. Just 5 blue chip prospects. All throw the ball in the 90s, deep in the 90s. All kids to watch.
Daniel Nava's such a great story. I know he'll end up back in the bigs at some point, but you talk about a guy who had to fight his way into college ball and fight his way into pro ball.
That's all he's done is fight. And he came back here the other day, last Friday or last Thursday afternoon. And the first guy I see out here signing autographs for kids is Nava.
Wow.
So that just tells you what type of guy he is.
Tremendous pickup by Cicchini. But big offense, the triple by Polanco, the home run by Andrew Lambeau. And Indianapolis takes a 3-2 lead. Mike, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Good having you guys here. Come on back and see us, all right?
Thank you, buddy.
Back with more in just a minute on the CBS Sports Network. Pawtucket trails for the first time as Indianapolis breaks through with 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The Indians lead at 3-2 now. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, and Ginger Polson, and we saw weather, we saw sunshine, and now we've got some fog rolling in.
We saw a rainbow.
We did.
And we saw a bomb because that home run was touched.
A couple of them, too, as
and
Polanco, his stayed in the ballpark, but he crushed his.
That was two of the marquee players we talked about have been swinging the bats as good as anybody and didn't disappoint. Saw a little bit of everything from Polanco there. He saw power, saw his speed. Take a good look at him out there in the outfield. Just, I mean, looks like a racehorse.
That's appropriate with Derby Day coming up Saturday.
Hey, have you got a pick already?
Medal count.
Medal count.
Yeah, write that down.
All right. Any scratches that we need to know about?
Opportunity is out. Bob Baffert's horse. You get a little bit of everything here on
That's
minor
right.
league baseball.
Well, that's what minor league baseball is all about.
That's right.
It's sharing a little bit of everything.
There's Daniel Nava. We talked about him, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. Outstanding talent. We missed it earlier. We told you, we talked about the fact that he walked on eventually to a small college team, a junior college team, in fact, became an All-American and played one season at Santa Clara and played in the Golden League, independent baseball. And was rated, unbeknownst to him, the top prospect in independent baseball.
And that's amazing because the 2 years I managed and coached in pro baseball, we took a look at a lot of independent players, but there weren't a lot of them that got picked up by professional teams. So that's a credit to him for never giving up on his career and saying, I'm going to continue to play somewhere.
Another great chapter in his story is on the first pitch he saw as a big leaguer, he hit a grand slam.
No way.
2010. Diving knockdown by McGinnis, but an infield single by Nava. He turned on it. And the leadoff man aboard for the Paw Sox.
Well, McGinnis does a good job of getting it, and then the ball just kind of hits in the middle of his glove and goes out. But you could see Nava, and I love this story about him coming here and being the first one out. Gets a good jump on it, makes a nice play. The ball just doesn't stay in his glove. He does a good job of holding on because if he tries to throw it, he may throw the ball away.
Nava made his debut in 2010. And the Red Sox broadcaster, Joe Castiglione, gave him some advice, said swing as hard as you can because it'll be the only time you ever see the first pitch in the major leagues. And he connected.
That's pretty cool.
Now Ryan Lavarnway, and in fact he connected off Joe Blanton, a guy we saw pitch coming up through at Kentucky. Won a World Series ring with the Phillies, but Nava got the best of him that day. Only the 4th player ever to hit a grand slam in his first at-bat in the bigs.
I was going to say, it's got to be a pretty exclusive club that he just joined.
Yeah, only 2 have done it on the first pitch they ever saw. Kevin Kuzmanoff did it in 06. And, by the way, first ever in the history of interleague play. You can keep winnowing it down to where you get to be the first. There's a good look at Nava. And you can tell the fog is rolling in Pawtucket. Diving grab by Andino. They get the lead runner and the double play.
Doesn't get any prettier than that. That is absolutely beautiful. Does a good job, makes a nice flip. Ball looks like it's got base hit written over it all the way. Gets a good hop, has a presence to take his time, make a good flip. Once the second baseman gets it, it's an easy double play.
Martinez with a strong throw coming across
Well,
the
look at
back.
that. Gives him a good flip.
Not even close.
That is pretty.
First double play of the evening, and Bryce Brentz will try to keep things going for Pawtucket. 0 for 2, a ground ball, a strikeout. Well, you know, it's fun to talk to guys like Mike Tamburo, who just visited with us, the president of the team, and all the way down to the folks selling popcorn here. They love it here at this ballpark. It means something to them.
You're right. You know, there's something about, as I was saying, Boston fans, too, because even when they weren't winning, they were still loyal, filling up Fenway.
Easier play for Andino. And the Paw Sox are out of the inning. Take one more look as we go to the break at a pretty double play. Indians lead it over the Paw Sox 3-2 on CBS Sports Network. Glad to have you along on our inaugural broadcast of the minor league baseball game of the week. Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson. Check out the fog, and it's getting hard to see the baseball flying through the air here in Pawtucket. We'll be with you for the next 14 or 15 weeks from various minor league stops around the country. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Check your local listings each week, each Thursday night. Find out where we're going to be. We'll be in places like Fresno and Columbus and Memphis. And wherever they play fine minor league ball, we'll be there.
That's right. Yeah. You know, this is going to be fun because there's a lot of these minor league ballparks I haven't seen. So I'm kind of excited about going to them.
I thought you played in practically every one of those minor league ballparks.
They're all parking lots now. They tore them down. So it's going to be fun just to get out and see the different ones. And in the AAA league I was in, it wasn't International League or Pacific Coast. So I've heard about them. So I'm excited about it. This is so much fun coming to the ballpark and seeing the enthusiasm that the crowd has. A nice crowd this evening, too, all the kids that were here. And for a lot of these players, it's the first time that they ever get to sign an autograph. So I didn't sign an autograph until I went to AAA.
You more than made up for it.
And haven't signed one since. But no, going to AAA ball, all of a sudden people realize that you are close to making it to the big league, so they want your autograph. Shoot, they even have AAA cards now. And if you get a card, you know, for these kids that are AAA, the prospects.
Yeah.
And because you can go back and look, and they're worth, you know, some of them more than the big league baseball card is worth.
What's yours worth?
Like I said, they're worth.
Well,
you won't go broke.
There were so many teams that you played for.
Well, I was a hat collector. I wanted to go out and see how many hats I could get so I could wear them to different places.
Dalier Hinojosa still on the hill for Pawtucket. And the Indianapolis Indians with a 3-2 lead. Send Jeff Decker to the plate. And again, it is getting tougher, we know, to see because of the fog rolling in. Decker didn't see much of that fastball. Struck out his last time up. Grounded out back in the third inning.
You know, we did see the fog, and on that ball hit out of the ballpark, it was kind of hard to see going, but boy, our camera gives it a good view right there, just how much fog is starting to come into this ballpark.
Hinojosa, likewise a great story. Signed with the Red Sox last October. Defected from his native Cuba. That's been a hot story of late because of Aroldis Chapman, Yasiel Puig. 9 seasons he pitched in the Cuban National Series.
Brian Pena came over, is now catching with Cincinnati, and also from Cuba.
Hinojosa made his way here in February of last year. Last time out, a couple of innings at Rochester. Made his Red Sox system debut on April 3rd against Lehigh Valley. Pitched in the 2011 Baseball World Cup, which has become a huge event, and the Pan American Games.
Well, that has, hasn't it? That has really, really taken off.
Hinojosa pitched a 7-inning perfect game in the World University Championships in 2010 against Sri Lanka. Not seen any details on how he made his way to the United States. But he's part of the Red Sox system now. 6'1", 195. Lives in Miami in the offseason.
Boy, there's a good pitch. Good off-speed pitch right there. Gets him, and he's got a great arm. And as Mike was telling us earlier, they've got some guys here that can throw, especially their starting pitchers.
Now Michael Martinez, 0 for 1 with a sac fly back in the 5th inning. An incredible catch by Bryce Brents in foul ground. Drove in a run back in the 5th, first run of the game for Indianapolis. Left-handed hitter, but they play him to go the other way in left and in center. In fact, Daniel Nava pulled well over toward the gap in left center field. Hostin is pulled over in right. Good off-speed pitch by Hinojosa.
Yeah, he's very impressive with his arm. Gave up a couple of bombs there, but you could tell this is a kid that's got a good arm and, as they say, a good upside. So they're doing something right on that national team over there in Cuba. They seem to have a lot of pitchers. Another good off-speed pitch.
Couldn't stop himself, and another strikeout for Hinojosa.
And you're wondering, Dick, is it getting tougher to see the ball down there?
It's got to be. Third strikeout of the night for the Paw Sox right-hander.
Boy, out in front that time, and you could tell he just couldn't stop.
I've also read pitchers who like pitching in weather like this because the moist air gives them a little bit of grip. A little different grip. Some don't like it, some love it. Now Chase Darno, the leadoff batter. 0 for 3 tonight. Easy pickup for Holt. Good inning for Hinojosa and the Paw Sox. They'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Indianapolis 3, Pawtucket 2. We'll be back with more minor league baseball on the CBS Sports Network. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Dick Gabriel, Doug Flynn, Ginger Polson. Indianapolis with a 3-2 lead now on the Paw Sox. And the fog keeps rolling in here in New England.
Well, the rain got out of here just like we like, and now all of a sudden, here comes the fog.
New pitcher for the Indians, Phil Irwin, now is the pitcher of record. And he hands things off to Vince Mazzaro. Came up to the Indians on April the 12th. Last time out, or rather in spring training, 5 strikeouts in 6 games. And Cicchini leads things off, first pitch swinging. And a kind of a circus catch by Andino out in short left field. Now you would want the left fielder to take that.
No, I wanted every ball up in the air because there's no bad hops up there. So if it went up, I wanted it. However, if I couldn't see it, absolutely. And I'd say that the outfielders are having a lot tougher time seeing it than the infielders.
And now Brandon Snyder 0 for 2, a strikeout, a fly ball. Andino.
Of course, the wind's blowing that way, and you could tell that. I mean, you can see the fog just rolling in from third base towards first. And we're going to have a little discussion here now, it looks like, as to whether we're going to keep playing, I believe.
Dean Traynor is out of the Indianapolis dugout, no doubt complaining that it's just getting dangerous out there for his ball players. The fog's not going to go away.
No, what he's saying is I got a 3-2 lead right now. That's what he's saying, and if we could call this bad boy, we're going to. But I'm not sure about the rule of AAA if they would finish the game tomorrow if the fog were too bad.
Now the umpire's coming over to have a word with Kevin Bowles, the Paw Sox manager.
Yeah, you get a good look from the shortstop right there from Andino that's talking. I couldn't see the ball.
This is not a problem you have to deal with in places like Charlotte or Memphis, but here in Pawtucket, there's a good look at how the fog has rolled in. So much moisture in the air from all the rain in this area.
Yep.
In fact, it rained earlier today, rained last night, and then about 10 minutes before first pitch, it poured here in Pawtucket. And they're pulling the players off the field.
Well, we need a couple of helicopters to come in here and blow this fog out of the way.
So they pulled the Indians off the field. And Like Doug said, we're not sure if it's a suspended game or an official game.
Well, I'd say it probably is a suspended
Get
game.
word eventually, yeah.
Because if it weren't, I don't think you would see Boston be so agreeable.
The Paw Sox would not go quietly into that
No.
night. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying right there.
So the inaugural minor league game of the week apparently will be cut short just a couple of innings by something truly, I won't say unique, but you see it a lot up here in the Northeast, and that's fog.
And you can't fight Mother Nature.
No.
But we've seen a little bit of everything today. We saw the sunshine. We saw a little bit of rain.
A
Now
rainbow.
some fog, a rainbow, a moon.
That's the weather here, sports. Indianapolis 3, Pawtucket 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, but we've not yet been told what the schedule is going to be for the rest of this game.
Well, the players are coming out, and so I'd say they may wait just a little bit until they make a decision.
Fog's not going away. It's not going to get any better. And the bullpen pitchers and catchers have all come in with their equipment. That's what it's like for the outfielders looking back into home plate. And you saw Andino trying to manage. That may be, Doug, why he caught that pop-up instead of giving ground and giving way to the left fielder.
Yeah. Well, when the ball got up, so it looked as if he was saying when the ball got up above the clouds, he lost it momentarily, and then with the wind blowing that way, so I guarantee you that the outfielder had no shot at that ball. And that was good for him to do, too. I mean, instead of staying out there and taking a chance on somebody hitting the ball that they don't see and tying this ball game up or even taking the lead, the first thing he did is he looked at his manager and said, hey, I can't see the ball. Come out here and do something about it.
Well, you talked about what we saw and what we have seen in terms of the weather. We also tonight saw some outstanding baseball. Matt Barnes, very sharp on the mound for Pawtucket.
Yeah, he came with a lot of high accolades, very high up into their system as far as what they think about him as being a prospect. And then he comes in tonight and he doesn't disappoint. He had a good fastball. He's still working himself back into good pitching shape. He didn't have real good command of his curveball. When he did throw it over, it was almost unhittable, but he had a very good fastball and a changeup, and tonight was very impressive.
He did a great job on the two big sticks for Indianapolis, or two of the bigger sticks, I should say, and that's Gregory Polanco and Andrew Lambeau. But once Indianapolis broke through to the Pawtucket bullpen, Polanco goes for the triple, Lambeau goes for the home run on two rocket shots.
Yeah.
One stayed in the ballpark barely and one left.
Yeah, we couldn't really tell. It looked like both of them may have a chance to go, but they both hit very well, and the one by Lambeau was just crushed. And it went out there someplace into the fog, and as it continues to roll in here, but right now we're sort of waiting to see what they're going to do, and they may wait for 30 minutes or so, see if it gets out of here, or try to continue this on tomorrow.
So there will be a 30-minute delay, we are told, to see if indeed the fog does lighten up a little bit. Fans are leaving. Ball players are in their respective clubhouses, and as you can see, Indianapolis leads Pawtucket 3-2, and we're in a fog delay here at Pawtucket.
This may be my first fog delay. However, not as a player.
Really?
Yeah, no, because in New York we happened to have had one. We ended up losing. But right now it looks like we're going to be, just sitting here and waiting 30 minutes, and might be a good time.
I doubt if they go off the. I doubt if we wait until 4:09 a.m. like the longest game ever.
We've talked so much about it. I don't know.
Well, right now here on CBS Sports Network, we will go to alternate programming, and we'll come back and let you know what's going on here in Pawtucket. Indians 3, Paw Sox 2. We'll talk to you later on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to foggy Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Dick Gabriel with Doug Flynn and Ginger Polson. And as you can see, the fog is not lifted, and it looks like baseball may be done for the evening. It's just an incredible sight here in Pawtucket as the fog rolled in just as the Indians took the lead. And then you could see this was the last out
that we saw tonight. This happened in the bottom of the 7th inning as Robert Andino had a difficult time, Doug, seeing that ball come down.
Yeah, I don't think the outfielder even had a shot at it, and he did the smart thing right there. He went ahead and immediately signaled to his manager. His manager went over, talked to the umpires. Both of the managers got together, decided that it was going to be a little bit too dangerous. If you've got the lead, like the Indians did, it's a very smart call. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of argument, but it's the right thing to do because we were having trouble seeing the game here on our TV monitors.
Well, you can see the managers, Dean Traynor in the Road Grays for Indianapolis, and, of course, in the Pawtucket Navy, Kevin Bowles meeting with the umpires, and also Mike Tamburo there on the left in the pullover. That is the president of the team. He visited with us during the game, and we talked about all the wonderful things that have happened during this ball game. Great baseball game, as he pointed out, and his people have been so helpful to us in the inaugural minor league baseball game of the week. And again, we had a 30-minute rain delay, and I guess the folks up here aren't surprised. You know, we didn't see this coming, the fog rolling in, but as soon as it did, you could tell it was not going to go away, and it was really going to be a problem.
Well, when the home run was hit, and we couldn't tell if the ball went out of the ballpark or not, was a pretty good sign. But a nice crowd tonight. Had close to 7,000 people. Had a lot of young folks here at the game, which is minor league baseball is very conducive to bring in
family-oriented.
Family-oriented, absolutely. And we saw some of that tonight. The guys were out signing autographs. One of the players brought his new puppy to the ballpark. It was just a cool evening, and to have to end like this because today we've seen sun, rain, fog, moon.
And a rainbow.
And a rainbow.
Yeah.
And a little bit of everything. So we've got a good feel for it. It's unfortunate that it has to stop with fog, but had a friend of mine who was an International League umpire that texted me, and he said, Doug, this is considered the same as a rain delay. Yeah. And so the game would be over.
And in case you're wondering why we are waiting, is there is a minimum amount of time they have to wait, which is 45 minutes, we're told, before they actually call it. And from what we understand, they are going to treat the fog like it's rain. So this would officially be a rain out. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, perhaps we'll have word from Ginger Polson. She's down there waiting to hear from the umpires here in Pawtucket. Back with more on the CBS Sports Network. Back at historic McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, the home of the 33-inning game, the longest game ever played in professional baseball, and now the home of a fog delay.
We're going for the record tonight.
Indianapolis jumped out to a 2-0 lead after 3 innings. Pawtucket did. Indianapolis answered with a run of its own in the 5th inning, and then 2 more in the 6th as Polanco goes for the triple. Lambeau goes for the home run, a 2-run shot, and Indianapolis takes the lead. And then the fog rolls in, and lo and behold, Dean Traynor comes out and says, hey, this fog's getting really tough to see through. And in all fairness, it was very difficult for his players out there on defense, as you saw just a few minutes ago. And Kevin Bowles for the Paw Sox, he's out talking to the umpires as well. Bowles in his first year as the manager here in AAA. He spent 13 years in rookie ball, Class A, AA, and gets his first shot in AAA. And so this would be his first fog delay, I've got to think. First for a lot of us, I might point out. But we do want to say that we did see some outstanding baseball tonight, both on offense and defense. Go back to the 6th inning and take a look at just how Indianapolis broke through against the Pawtucket bullpen. There's the triple by Polanco. He crushed it.
He sure did. And he shows some good speed, too. That's a kid that's 6'4", 230 pounds, and then Lambeau comes up and just annihilates this ball.
Landed in the right field bleachers, but by then the fog had just started to come in. Our cameras actually got to look at it better than we do, or better than we did at that point. And we are reaching the 45-minute mark, and it looks like the umpires are going to call things to a halt. Ginger Polson is nearby. She's going to try to get the official word from one of the men in blue, as well as Mike Lamburo. All right, let's go down to Ginger. She's got the final word. Ginger, what's up?
Well, that is game after a couple of delays because of all of this fog. It is officially called, just like a rain delay, like you guys were saying. They're treating it that way. The game is now officially over because of all of this fog going on.
And you get a good look there from one of our field cameras as to just how tough it is to see across the field. Lights are on, but it's not helping here. And that's going to do it as The game is over, and it's 3-2 Indianapolis.
Yeah, but what an exciting night. First night doing minor league baseball. As we said earlier, one of the purest forms of the game that you'll ever see. This is the way it's supposed to be. An exciting night here. Let's do it again.
For Doug Flynn, Ginger Pulse, and our entire crew, I'm Dick Gabriel. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to CBSSports.com. Stay tuned now for Inside College Football. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Good night, everybody.